Welcome to a journey into the hidden world of ancient Greece. When we think of ancient Greece, we often imagine philosophers, warriors, and grand temples. But behind the scenes of this legendary civilization, there existed a group of women whose lives were both luxurious and tragic. Concubines. Who were they? How did they live? And what role did they play in Greek society? Let's uncover the truth. Concubines in ancient Greece, known as palakides, were women who occupied a unique and often controversial position in society. They were not considered legal wives, but had a recognized status, often living with powerful men as companions or mistresses. Some were slaves forced into these roles, while others were foreign women or even former courtesans, hetairai, admired for their intelligence and beauty. Unlike wives who were expected to remain at home managing household duties, concubines had more freedom in some cases, especially those who were hetairai. They could participate in symposiums, elite gatherings where men discussed philosophy, politics, and art. However, this freedom came at a cost, as their position in society was always precarious. Ancient Greek society was deeply patriarchal, and women's roles were strictly defined. Concubines existed in a gray area between wives and slaves. Athenian law, for example, stated, "We have courtesans for pleasure, concubines for daily companionship, and wives to bear legitimate children and manage our households." This statement, attributed to the orator Demosthenes, perfectly illustrates how concubines were seen. Their main roles included providing companionship and pleasure to elite men, raising children who, in most cases, could not inherit their father's wealth, offering intellectual or artistic entertainment, especially in the case of hetairai, who were often educated in music, poetry, and rhetoric. Unlike legal wives, concubines had no official rights, and their fate depended entirely on the goodwill of their male partners. If abandoned or widowed, they often faced uncertain futures. Not all concubines lived the same way. Some, especially those connected to influential men, lived in luxury, wearing fine clothes adorned with jewelry and residing in lavish homes. Others, particularly those taken as war captives or slaves, lived under harsh conditions with little to no autonomy. The hetairai, a high-class group of courtesans, were an exception. Unlike typical concubines, they were often highly educated and trained in music, philosophy, and conversation. Some became so influential that they advised politicians and philosophers. One of the most famous was Aspasia, the companion of Pericles, who was known for her intelligence and involvement in Athenian politics. However, for most concubines, life was uncertain. They had no legal security, and if their partner lost favor or died, they could be cast out, sometimes forced into slavery or prostitution. Over time, as Greek society evolved, the institution of concubinage began to fade. During the Hellenistic period, marriage customs became more flexible, and women, especially in places like Sparta and later under Roman influence, gained slightly more legal protections. The rigid social structures of classical Athens slowly gave way, reducing the prominence of concubines in elite households. Despite this, the role of concubines left a lasting impact on Greek culture. Their stories, often untold, provide a deeper understanding of the complexities of gender, power, and social hierarchy in the ancient world. The life of concubines in ancient Greece was a paradox, filled with moments of privilege and power, but also vulnerability and suffering. Their world was one of both luxury and oppression, making them some of the most fascinating yet overlooked figures in history. If you found this glimpse into ancient Greek society intriguing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more captivating history content.